Welcome, Watchers of Illusion, to the Castle of Confusion. Phase with us now, for this is the time of adventure.
Knightmare was a game show first aired in 1987 on CITV, which was the kids segment of ITV, a then popular British TV network. This game show, however, was like nothing you'd ever seen before. It was an epic fantasy adventure filled with puzzles, challenges, and 1,000,001 ways to die. It really wasn't easy. Why don't I let Treguard, the far more handsome and far more dulcet tone-having Dungeon Master, explain the rules? Honestly, I could listen to this guy talk all day.
I, Treguard, issue the challenge. Beyond that portal lies the Dungeon of Deceit, which I alone have mastered. But those of you who cross the boundaries of time must master it also. The first is now without, so enter, stranger. Who challenges my dungeon?
David Campbell.
You have some small previous experience of dungeoneering, I hope.
Yes, I have.
Very well. And what reward do you seek here?
I seek knighthood.
That will not be possible. Only the first step to knighthood can be taken here. Squiredom is the reward for surviving the dungeon, for silver precedes gold. And the silver spurs of a squire will be yours, if you survive. Now you know you may have 3 advisors to aid you on your quest. Call them to us, please.
David, James, Lucien, come.
Now, to matters of the most serious. David, your quest through the dungeon is for truth and justice. Justice, of course, is blind. And when you don this helmet, you also become blind. Although you'll find there's just enough vision to examine and collect objects from directly beneath. The others remain here, where with magic they can be your eyes. Their voices will reach you through the helmet. Now, the dungeon ahead is an alien place, and so to sustain your progress, a sprite of energy will travel with you. This is its manifestation. It is your own life force, and must be fed with food, which you will find occasionally on your quest. This is condition green. On condition red, you are in great peril. For this is no game for a player with numerous lives, and when this one's done, your adventure is over. To feed your life force, you must place any food in this knapsack. But place only food there, for any other objects would also be consumed. You will, of course, find other objects on your quest. Choose them and use them with care. And remember, you may carry only 2 at a time. Now, I am constrained to offer you certain final warnings, so listen to my words very carefully. On your quest, I shall be with you, and yet not with you, for there are places in the dungeon where even I may not safely go.
Hello there, you obscure little nuggets, and thank you for joining me once again in the den. Now, I must apologise for that somewhat gratuitous segment of Treguard, but that was the introduction from the very first episode. And my god, I just adore the character that Matt Wyatt brought to life for 8 solid years. I swear to god he doesn't miss a beat in over 100 episodes. In fact, no, I won't apologise. If you don't understand why I love him so much, then you can just go and sit on something long and sharp until you realise why Matt Wyatt would make the greatest dungeon master ever. Yeah. Anyway, enough digression. Today we are looking at Knightmare, an incredibly nerdy TV game show from the 80s and 90s. The aim of the game is for a team of 4 to work together. One guy goes into the dungeon whilst blindfolded, and the other 3 sit and watch him on a magic mirror or whatever the fuck it's supposed to be. They're the ones that guide him along the way. And by guided, I don't mean loosely, I mean they guided him step by step the entire way. Now this made for some epic moments.
Left hand wall, quickly! Right hand wall!
And some not so epic moments.
Yes. Side step to your left.
Right, so enough of my disgust and mug, let's get on to Knightmare.
There's a new man in the darkness. inside a nightmare, screaming out, save me, try God.
The player only has one life, and Knightmare really doesn't mind killing off its competitors. One wrong move and boom, dead. Bye bye, next contestant please. Considering the contestants on the show were generally aged between 11 and 16, the show pulled no punches when it came to killing off the kids. If you hang around for too long, Treguard would usually give a warning. Don't heed that warning in the next, let's say, 10 seconds, and it's go home and tell your dad how fucking stupid you are. As I mentioned earlier, the footage used in the intro was from the very first episode of Knightmare. I'm sure you guys are dying to find out how these young chaps did, so well, why don't we just bloody well find out.
Where am I?
The first room entered was a very simple puzzle room. There are 4 exits, only one of which is used at this point. The word open appears mixed up on the floor, and the gang quickly realised they had to spell out the word by having, what was his name again?
David Campbell.
Oh, that's right, by having Donald Trump walk over the letters in the correct order. This of course is made harder by the fact Trump is completely blind and has no idea what the hell is going on around him. All he has is the disembodied voices of his advisors telling him exactly what to do in fear of ultimate failure and devastation. Eventually, of course, they guide him through and we are on to the next room. So, as you can see, the boys aren't having too much trouble so far, but next we enter the first clue room. It's a bit of a classic and it features the first ever living manifestation, the OG wall monster himself, Olgoth. But before all that, the boys have to check out what's on that table.
Stop. Turn right. And take a step forward.
I can see the object on the table.
Alright, take the meat pie.
Right.
Now, there's also a ruby on the table. Can you see that?
Yes, I can see that.
Alright, well, we'll try taking that.
You have delayed too long in this chamber. A manifestation is now occurring. Stand quite still.
Stand quite still.
Will I get there?
Ah.
Now, just before the wall demon appears, you may have noticed Treguard asked David to stand still.
Stand quite still.
Stand quite still.
He never actually explains why he told him to stand still, but of course we all know that if he moves around he's going to fuck up the live animation. If you haven't already guessed, this show takes advantage of green screen technology, hence why the main player has to be blindfolded. If he wasn't, he would quickly notice the fact that he is not in a dungeon and in a nice safe TV studio surrounded by green screen, or in Knightmare's case, blue screen. It is still impressive, however, because the 3 pals are actually seeing what the audience sees through their magic screen. This means that all the green screen work had to be done whilst recording and not in post-production, where the crew could take as much time as they needed to perfect everything. Pretty impressive for the times, if you ask me. Anyway, for the first time, and certainly not the last, we meet Olgoth. He's a neutral party and he only requires the truth, but don't give him those truths and, well...
Fail all 3. And I feed on you!
I will definitely give you the shits, mind.
Here is my first. Of earth I was born. Deep fires tempered me. Mountains slept on me. My father was younger than I. And a sculptor gave me my face. What am I made of?
I think I'm going to go mashed potato, Chris. Final answer.
Truth accepted.
You just want one minute!
Here is my second. Made like me, the mountain stands. The tallest object in our land. Give name to him.
Everest?
Alright, David, try stone again then.
Storm.
Falsehood. Ben Nevis was the truth I saw. Here is my third.
Try and get this one.
Once, by magic I was cleft. Deep in my chest a sword was left. 10 years of pain I then endured. Then came a prince who pulled it forth. Name him now, and gain reward.
Classic King Arthur.
Arthur. David, try Arthur. King
Arthur.
Arthur.
King Arthur.
Truth accepted.
You must take some objects.
All right, David, take the ruby.
And will I take the candle holder or will I take the charm?
Try taking the charm. Don't put it in the
Don't put it in
knapsack.
the back.
Right,
Take the charm as well.
right.
All right, now turn left.
Hurry, team, or something
Walk
much
forwards.
nastier than a
Stop.
wall
Stop,
monster
stop.
would be a
Turn
fun.
right. Left slightly. Left slightly. Walk forward.
After that, we have the oversized Acme brand bomb rooms, which, well, just...
Where am I?
David, you're in a smallish room. There are 2 exits. You just came through one. There's another one to your left.
There's a bomb lighted, David, okay? You might
All right.
explode anything. Get him through
Step
that.
forward, 1 step. Turn left. Walk forward. Run another one.
Another one, quickly.
Quickly.
And another one.
Bomb explosion
Just
imminent.
Honestly, I don't know how these kids keep their cool. I'd be screaming like a banshee at this point, but they're better men than me, apparently.
Bomb room.
Where am I?
David, walk forward. Continually, keep going. Left a bit. Right,
Stop, right.
Stop, right a bit. Right. Walk forward.
Now we meet Lilith, which incidentally is what I want to call my first daughter, but my girlfriend won't let me. Hashtag oppressed nerd. Do you have an oppressed nerd in your area? Donate just 50p a month to help give this nerd a much needed voice to change this bitch's mind.
No master, but a mistress rules here. I am called Lilith, and this is my domain. And the only way beyond is through the serpent's mouth. You certainly cannot stay, and so you must leave. And when you do so, kindly use the alternative exit. Just a few steps forward, please. Don't. Come on, hurry.
Do
Okay.
not, right? Don't move.
Silence! Chitter, chatter, chitter. Beware, spies. I can not only hear you, I can see you too. Have you anything that might interest me?
The
David.
ruby jog. Offer the ruby.
I've got the ruby.
A ruby! Oh, bring it to me. Hurry, boy, hurry.
Don't move.
Oh, wait. First, I must summon the causeway. Now, bring it to me, boy.
Now, Lilith isn't the only character we meet in Knightmare, not by a long shot, and honestly all these actors play their roles with such passion and over-the-top camp that I just fucking adore them, honestly. Obviously we don't have time to talk about them all individually, so let's have a brief intermission and meet some of them.
I'll perform a miracle, your lordship. Lovely. Well, you got your hobgoblin now, and let me tell you, they don't come cheap.
Who turned that light on? Who disturbs the sleep of Jimmet? Well, whoever you are, you're gonna pay for it now!
I need to find this creep and find out who gave him this. Now, come on. We've got to get out of here. You've blown this horn now, so the goblins are coming. It's not safe.
Okay, Mark.
Stare at me. I'm too ugly to be stared at.
You say he's really
I'm
nice.
twice as ugly as sin, and I'm spiteful too.
Say he's
You'd
really
be
nice.
spiteful if you were this ugly, wouldn't you?
No, you're lovely. You're really nice.
Keep going. Tommy's...
You're brilliant. You're the most beautiful creature in the world.
Oh, it's no good trying to cheer me up.
What am I waiting for, Dungeon Master?
With respect, sir, it is the quest, if you recall, the moment of testing.
Oh, testing? Testing! Yes, right, Leo. It is Leo, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, first let's perk you up a bit. Spellcasting! Energy! E. N. E. R. G. Y. There. Now, let testing commence.
After entering the cave and doing pretty well so far, the boys think they're onto a winner. But little do they know they already failed 4 rooms ago. Just watch and see. I wasn't joking when I said the show was brutal.
Where am I?
David, you're in a dark room. You've just come through an entrance, but I can't tell you anything else at the moment. What are we going to do?
difficult. You can't go back to the entries that 10 out of 10. No, we'll just go.
David, start walking forward just a bit.
Where did the boys go wrong, you might ask? Well...
Warning, team. You should have taken the magic lamp when you had the chance. It would have been enough to have remembered the symbol. Now I can do nothing for you, even if I wished. This darkness is caused by something which doesn't like intruders. Even now it's making its dislike felt. Look at your life force clock. Condition red.
David?
Yeah?
Hold the charm up.
Oh dear, what a pity. Never mind. David, it seems, has come to a decidedly sticky end. And so I'm afraid team has your particular adventure. By the way, if you're worried about David and what you're going to say to his parents, you needn't be. Just look in your magic mirror and you'll see that David, although he perished in the dungeon, has survived in the reality you call your time. Time now for you to join him. Spellcasting. D-I-S-M-I-S-S. Farewell, David. Take with you those scrolls as proof of your short journey through the dungeon. You did well, but I'm afraid you came an awful cropper. The path behind you leads back to your time, your world. So farewell, David, James, Lucian, and David. Oh, well, life goes on, or not, as they say.
Pretty fucking harsh if you ask me. So that was the first ever team's attempt at conquering the dungeon. Of course they failed, as will many others who follow them. In fact, nobody beat the Knightmare dungeon until well into Season 2. Episode 5, I suggest you watch it. Now, as much as I'd love to sit here and watch Knightmare with you guys all day long, I really should move on. Up until now, all the footage has been from Series 1, but the show ran for 8 seasons, and of course the writing and special effects improved over time, giving us new characters to interact with, both good and bad, new areas to explore, and new puzzles to solve. Honestly, the first season will always be my favourite because it's the first one I watched and it gave me chills in my testicles. But the standard never really dropped as far as I'm concerned, and they came up with some really cool ideas for rooms too. This one, for example, is in the guise of a gambling room. It's almost a self-aware Easter egg to how the show actually works. The main guy is running around inside a green room whilst his crew watch on through a monitor, except they see it with all the animated embellishments. I thought this was pretty awesome personally. But honestly, the scope and creativity of the crew working on this show was outstanding, and whether or not you enjoyed the dungeon in a particular series, you could always rely on the warm vocal embrace of Tregard, my dad. I mean, the issuer of challenges. I honestly could sit and talk about this all day, but if you've never watched it before, I implore you to go and find Knightmare on YouTube and spend a day being entertained. If you have seen it before, enjoy the nostalgic warmth you're currently feeling in your belly, and maybe go watch an episode anyway. So it's time to bring up the elephant in the room. This is predominantly a video game channel, and there were video games made based on this TV show. The two games, both called Knightmare, were released in 1987 and 1991 by Activision and Mindscape respectively. And although they have pretty sick cover art, the gameplay couldn't look any more boring. I mean, why would you want a game based on a TV show which was already based on fantasy video games? If you really think about it, this is just a version of a text-based adventure. The main player, who can't see anything, literally has to be told what's around him and what to do. Even the magic spells have to be literally said out loud by his teammates to perform. Oh shit, I haven't shown you a magic spell yet. Here's one of those.
Go.
Spellcasting.
Rise, please.
S-W-O-R-D.
Well, there's really no need to take that sort of attitude, you know. If you really feel that strongly about it, then I'm quite happy to withdraw. My respects to you, sir. The path is all yours.
To be fair, the games of Knightmare didn't do horribly bad, but they just never really found their place in history. There was, however, a range of books which look pretty fucking awesome and have some sick cover art. They essentially work like a choose-your-own-adventure novel where the reader has to decide how to react to certain situations by flicking to a certain page in the book and seeing the results. Whether it was garbage or not, I think it's an epic idea and I seriously want these books in my collection. Hold your breath, there was even a board game version of Knightmare, which again looks pretty epic, but I won't bore you with any more detail. If you're looking for more detail, then please visit the Knightmare lexicon, that is knightmare.com. This place has literally everything you could ever need to know about Knightmare, from the details of the show and cast, the books, the games, and even upcoming events and discussions. There's a pretty hardcore cult following for this show. Now I'm gonna leave the video just here. I know I really haven't showed you that much of Knightmare itself, but it's so epic and creative, I really want you to just go and watch the whole thing for yourself. So, that is Knightmare, and like I said, there's a bunch more episodes to watch with new, fun and exciting challenges to keep you entertained. Now I know technically this isn't a game, but I checked the rulebook and all the pages were stuck together, so I guess I'll make the rules now. And my first rule is, shut the fuck up. Now, I never originally watched Knightmare when it came out all those years ago, probably because I was still pre-alive. But honestly, watching them now as a 27-year-old privileged white man, I'm still pretty impressed by the skill of the crew. They somehow turned a green screen, some OTT actors, and some dodgy set dressing into an epic adventure that went on for 7 to 8 years. There is also a one-off modern reboot on YouTube, which I'm yet to watch, but I'm sure it's wonderful. Well, that's all I have time for today, and if it didn't already, I hope Knightmare's found a nice warm spot in your cold black heart. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, tell all your friends.
You're fucking terrible at this, you know. You're supposed to be running a channel about obscure games, and already you're doing TV shows. This should be the den of I don't give a fuck, because you're clearly too lazy to pick out some really obscure games. You are an embarrassment to content creators everywhere, and I heard that you shove your thumb up your anus whilst you masturbate. You are a disgusting human being, and should bow down to me, Obscuritron. Your videos were so terrible that I created myself out of necessity to come and destroy you and show the people some real obscure titles. Ha ha, fucking Knightmare. Not even a game. What kind of pathetic neurodeficient fuckbrain would even consider putting this on a show about video games? Clearly I am superior to you and you should bow down to my superiorness. I hope you haven't left. I don't have eyes and I cannot see. Please reattach your webcam so next time I will be able to see the reactions you are giving to my nasty speech.
For the things I said, spell casting, and for the things I'll do, spell casting you. For the mess I'll be, spell casting, secret.